All right, welcome to Down the Sideline, everybody. How's it going?
Going good.
What's up?
It's going good.
Well, we apologize to everybody because we're a little bit late. Chef is having a little bit of vehicle difficulties, so we've been working on that tonight, as well as, real jobs and life and, things that come with being alive, I suppose.
Half of us were ready.
Hey, that's 50%, man. If that's a coin flip, I'll take those odds every day. All right, Chef, lay it on us. How were we last week?
Picks from last week. We had UCLA Stanford. Stanford won that. Michigan State Michigan. Michigan State won that. Florida LSU. Iowa Northwestern. Alabama Texas A&M. Myself, Mike, and Kev were 2 for 3. Opie was a whopping 4-1. His only missed pick was the Michigan State Michigan game, which we all should have got right, but we didn't.
It's a heartbreaker. That was just a heartbreaker.
It was. That's just one of those things that happened. That's football. Sometimes sports, weird stuff happens,
That kicker should have known better, though. He should have just fell on the ball.
Well, that's what he came back and said. He goes, instincts went back to his rugby days because he's a rugby player, rugby style kicker. So he went to try to punt the ball, to try to pass it to his teammate. Like, that's what he was used to. But he even came back and said, he goes, it happens. He did kind of like what Mike said. He's like, it happens. Got to move on. Like, can't dwell on it. I'm over it. I'm on to the next game. It's like, that's kind of cool for a college kid to already have that mindset, even though he just lost like a huge game.
Yeah, and that was pretty crazy. Like, you could see it in his face, I could tell, and Zach, she's like, oh, crap, I got to punt it. And he was just ready to kick it, and it just flew out of his hands. So I was like, no, wrong decision. I saw it. My girlfriend was like, what is he thinking? What is he doing? I was like, well, if you look, you can see how he's thinking about punting it, and they just hit him right as he did it. And so she's like, oh, I see it now. And I was just like, yeah, it's just one little mistake. I mean, that's like a millisecond mistake. Just like a blink of an eye mistake, and that cost them the game, and it was heartbreaker. God, 10 seconds left, and they scored. God, that was a great game to watch, though, honestly. It was a really fun game to watch.
But that's what makes the rivalry games fun. Even though it's a freak thing that, Michigan State won, without being cliche, that's why you play the game. So Michigan State's sitting 7-0 when they could easily be sitting at, 5-2. Because if the quarterback from Oregon, would have missed those 2 passes, that would have been a loss. This game would have been a loss. Then everybody would have been like, oh my gosh, Michigan State, they're awful. They've lost 2 games. They're this shit team. Never going to be any good. How are we on the upset alert stuff?
We all failed miserably.
Well, that's why we put people on upset alert.
It's just an alert. It's not a prediction. It's just an alert.
Yeah. Did you see? Brohawk? He called that last week. He said that Memphis Ole Miss. He called it, and he got it right. Our poll from last week.
That's right. The poll from last week
had Alabama playing Texas A&M. 8 people picked Alabama. 3 people picked A&M, and that was the only one that none of us got right except for Hope. I guess everybody knew it except for us.
I hated making that pick too. I was pulling for A&M.
Yeah, there was quite a few good comments from last week. I'm just gonna kind of run down the list here. And kind of be quick about it. I don't want to dwell on everything. But Brandon said, could Iowa actually win out and possibly win the Big Ten? Yeah, I think they could win out, yes. But beat Ohio State or Michigan State? Probably not. I mean, Ohio State, as bad as they've been playing, they have way too many good players at key positions, I think, for most teams to beat them. I mean, how do you game plan for Cardell Jones and JT Barrett in the backfield? Like, I seen that the other day, and I was like, oh boy, good luck with that. I mean, do you snap it to the quarterback that's directly behind the center, or do you direct snap it to the quarterback that's to the left or to the right of the other quarterback, and then both of them can run, both of them can throw? So, like, what do you game plan for that? You know what I mean?
Well, they made what's-his-name the starter now, Barrett.
Yeah, they benched Cardell Jones.
Right, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to bring Cardell Jones in as a running back and then direct snap it to him and then have him act like he's going to throw it and then throw it across the field to JT Barrett, who could throw it or could run it and can beat you with both his feet and his arm. Like, that's just how many teams – I've never seen that before. The next comment, Tech Dynasty 29, he said, could you talk about Texas Tech versus Oklahoma? That's this week. It says Texas Tech has one of the most powerful offenses in the country, but needs to work on defense. It says Oklahoma's offense with Baker Mayfield, he can extend plays. So can Texas Tech quarterback Mahomes has given them – we missed a period somewhere there. It's fucking up my reading. He's talking about, I don't know if Texas Tech has one of the most powerful offenses in the country. That's a stretch, I think.
I don't know if they can beat Oklahoma this week or not. I mean, isn't Baker Mayfield from Tech? Didn't he play for? Yeah, I bet you he's got something to prove. He's going to play his ass off today or this Saturday. Prove to them he was worth it. I don't know. We'll see. I don't have much to say because I really haven't been following either one of these teams too much. So we don't know how to judge this one quite yet.
All right. So what about we're on to our upsets. Anybody got upsets this week?
I had one, but they're playing right now, and it's pretty much. Yeah, I was gonna pick UCLA over Cal, and they're winning right now, 26-10 at the half. That was my upset.
Yeah, my upset is Duke Virginia Tech, and I know Brandon's here, and I think Duke is a good team, but this is my upset alert. Like, there is a possibility because Duke has had trouble beating Virginia Tech in the past couple of years. Virginia Tech is getting their starting quarterback from the first game back this week. So that's going to be a huge momentum boost for them because he gave, what was it, Ohio State? It was somebody right off the bat start the season a run for their money, but he got injured. So it's going to be close. And then they've played Duke real close or blew them out in the past couple of years. So this is going to be potentially an upset. I like the ability for it to be an upset, but I do like Duke though.
Mine is, we already talked about it a little bit, but Texas Tech and OU. I don't think Texas Tech is going to win, but I think it's going to be close. And I need OU to win so that Mike will give the Big 12 some respect.
Respect, son.
All right, on to our this week's games. Utah at USC.
Can I go first?
Go for it. You're the boss.
Utah. USC's playing like shit. I mean, Utah hasn't been playing the best in the world, but Booker's a good running back. He really, really is. I mean, he catches the ball like a receiver. He can make plays on the outside just like any of the best top receivers in the country. So with him receiving the ball out of the backfield and running the ball, with Utah's defense, no. Utah, probably by a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, and Wilson was on fire last week. I mean, he played a hell of a game last week. I think he's just going to continue to improve. Yeah, I'm going with Mike and picking Utah as well.
Well, I'm taking Utah as well, but only because the top two receivers for USC aren't playing.
Between the two teams, Utah, their running back, quarterback, they haven't both played good in a game together, but they've been picking up the slack for each other, and their defense, of course, is being lights out. USC defense isn't really helping out the offense much. I mean, the offense is putting up some points, but the defense is allowing too many, and Kessler needs to be good. But I'm still picking Utah. USC is just too much of a big team right now, and USC is just having trouble trying to figure out what the heck they're doing.
Clemson, Miami. Who wants to go first on this one?
Clemson. Just going to go ahead and pick them. Miami really hasn't done. I haven't really watched them. They don't seem to have any star players to me. Their quarterback looks pretty good. 10 TDs, 1 interception. But, I mean, they don't look like they're impressing me all that much. I lost to Florida State and Cincinnati. Nah, I'm picking Clemson for sure on this one.
I'm going to take Clemson. Their defense has been outstanding. Offense is producing on the ground, in the air, so you can't really focus on one thing like you can. Like an LSU team, even though Harris did tear it up last week. Miami just hasn't had any luck in the ACC this year. Quarterback play has been okay, but defense is just allowing too many points. Same thing with USC. But Clemson wins. There's a better overall team.
I agree with Silver. I don't think it's going to be that close. 38-17 sounds good to me, but I do think Clemson wins.
Yeah, I agree with the rest of the group. Clemson's a good team, if not the best team in the ACC. Like, I don't care if they're playing in Miami. Like there's a lot of stocks in playing at home, especially in college football. But no, I don't think it makes a damn in this one. All right, Texas A&M, Ole Miss.
Game of the week.
All right, well I'll go first then. The just to be different from the group, because I'm pretty sure most of everybody's going to pick Texas A&M. I'll go with Ole Miss just to change it up a little bit. It's not a strong pick, but both teams are pretty good. Probably a coin flip game. I think whoever limits their turnovers probably going to win the game. Ole Miss is playing at home. I'll take Ole Miss at this one.
I'm actually going to agree with you, Italian. I'm going to pick Ole Miss. A&M turned the ball over last week against Alabama, and if we know anything about Ole Miss, is they will make you turn the ball over. So I think it'll be turnovers, and Ole Miss wins this one.
I'm picking A&M. Ole Miss has turned the ball quite a few times as well. Kelly's got 7 interceptions. Allen's only had 5 this year, and 3 of them were last week for pick sixes, so I think he's going to learn from last week. Also, an interesting stat I saw is Ole Miss is 1-6 versus A&M, so I'm picking A&M for this one.
Yeah, that game last week, A&M had 3 pick sixes. That's 21 points that they gave up on offense when they only lost by 18. So you take away like simple mistakes or mistakes by the quarterback, they win that game. And it's a lot closer than what it ended up to be. They only gave up 2 offensive touchdowns against an Alabama team that's highly touted and a very good team. And both of those were in the first half. They didn't allow an offensive touchdown in the second half. So they have the ability to win. They just need to produce on offense. Whereas Ole Miss, they need to stop playing Kim Dichie on the offense. I don't know what the heck that deal is anyways. He's not a J.J. Watt. Wait until he gets pro and let him do that. Because that definitely hurt them on the defense. Losing your key playmaker on the defensive line, that's horrible. They couldn't get anything going on the ground, and when you're one-dimensional, it's kind of easy to shut it down. And Kelly's got 7 touchdowns and 5 interceptions over the last 4 games, and that's 3 of those were against an SEC team. He's just not taking care of the ball once he got into the tougher competition. So I'm taking Texas A&M. I think they pick up the pieces, take care of the ball, and they win the defensive battle because Texas A&M gets the turnovers this week instead of provides the turnovers.
Yeah, but some of this stuff is Alabama, with the defense that they have, they always have problems with mobile quarterbacks. I don't know if they're going to put up, those kind of numbers against Ole Miss, just because that defense is set up for that kind of offense better than Alabama's defense is set up for a mobile quarterback.
Oh, I did want to point out while I'm thinking about it, that on the YouTube videos, the background video so far this year has been 100% on the games of the week picks. They've got the game right every time. The score might have been wrong, but the winner has been right every week so far.
All right, so Chef's going to have the poll in the description since he's the guy that does all that stuff because he's the man.
I'm the man.
So click on that link, see who you think's going to win out of A&M and Ole Miss. And put your vote in. We'll talk about it when it comes around the next week. A little bit of slow week. But I think I haven't looked ahead in the schedule, but I'm sure stuff will pick up next week. All right, man. We're going to wrap up Down the Sideline. We enjoy it. The streaming is so much fun. We enjoy talking to everybody that's here. So if you've made it to this one and all the other videos, I know that I appreciate it. And speaking for everybody else, I'm 100% sure that they do too. But once again, if you're catching this on YouTube, the times are just kind of up in the air. I really wish we could set a set schedule, just because I think it'd make it easier for everybody to tune in. But we all work for a living, we don't, we don't do this stuff for a living. This is just extra, fun stuff. We all like to sit around and talk about football and stuff. So, subscribe to Twitter because we tweet out, on the day of the stuff. All right, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Later.
Toodles.